So Charles Barkley recently did a interview on the Stephen A. Smith show. Not everyone's a fan of Stephen A. Smith, I get it, but it's interesting some of the comments that Barkley made, and especially him being concerned about the current state of the NBA. And there's a couple of comments I want to pick apart here. He talks about everybody has to be concerned because the one thing you can't do is alienate your fans. And we break it down a little bit here. And he talks about you have to be concerned. Everybody has to be concerned because the one thing you can't do is alienate your fans. That's the one thing you cannot do because the fans make everything go. They buy the product, they watch the sport, and once you piss them off, there's going to be some repercussions. Now, Barkley doesn't get everything right, but at 16 years as a player, and I'm going to say 20 years maybe in media, he's been one of the most formidable personalities in the NBA for a very, very long time. And as you know, the NBA is in the middle of negotiating its next media rights deal, and that brings a lot of concern. Now, the big concern is that when they sign the new TV deal, it's going to be a lot of money. And as you know, the players get a hefty split of that. Yes, the owners make a lot of money, but the owners put up a lot of money too, just like any business. But with the new deal, you're going to have players making 70, 80, 90, possibly $100 million per season. And when you have players making that sort of money, like you see now when they're making 40, 50 million, even e.g. Ben Simmons, when they don't want to play, they don't want to play. And what are you going to do? What are you going to tell a guy who makes 80 to $100 million a year, go out and play, and he says no? You don't really have much power there because he's already making the money. And Jordan talks about this as well, is that the NBA is sort of broken now because the incentive used to be, win MVP, be the scoring champ, win a championship, and then you get paid. And then you get rewarded for the work that you've done. But now it's completely flipped. Now players are getting massive deals before they do anything. Before they win an MVP, before they win a championship, before they do anything. I mean, look at the deals of Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. A lot of those, that core group, those 4 or 5 year deals, 200 million plus, they're massive amounts of money for players who, yes, they're good players, but they haven't done anything significant in the league, win championships, win multiple championships. So this is the issue we're falling into. And then what that creates is your Ben Simmons types who just can't be bothered because what's the incentive? I've already made my money, so who cares? They don't need to win championships. They're not looking to be the next LeBron. They're not looking to take records. They don't want to win three. They don't want to three-peat because it's all too hard because you've already made your money. Just like any other job. If you're getting paid a lot of money and you didn't have to, put the hard yards in for 10 years and climb the corporate ladder to get there, if you get that money in year one and you can bounce, why would you bother doing all the work? And it makes a lot of sense, and the modern players, I think, don't really respect the players before them. And their respect for the foundation that was laid before them to create this league has, I think, gone out the window as well. Now, look, everyone has responsibility for the current state of the league. The players have figured it out. The players have figured out how to play basketball with the current rules. And we're seeing that in multiple games in the 150-plus scoring range with zero defense. They've conquered the modern game. But what we're seeing now is that if the players can hang on for a few years, they're going to make a lot of money. And it seems to be all about the money now. They're just getting their big deal, get their big rookie deal, get the big second deal, and they can coast. They can really just coast. And the next issue you have after that is once a player signs a big deal, coaches won't bench these guys because they've got to get value out of that player now. So even if he's not the best player in that position on the team, the owners are forcing him to play him because they're saying, well, I'm paying this guy $40 million a year. Get his ass out on the floor and produce some stats to get us some wins. Because there's no point having a paying a guy that much money to sit there and do nothing. So I think we're coming into a very interesting point in the NBA when it comes to where we go, holding players responsible, holding the league responsible, because you're talking a lot of money for guys, and NBA has to hit the salary cap. They have to pay this money, so someone's going to get it. It's a very interesting time. But let me know your thoughts on where they should be. Should there be a limit to what they can make based on performance? I don't know. I really don't know the answer. All I know is it's a lot of money, and I think it's going to make the NBA harder to watch, especially for fans worldwide. Because if you're traveling, like say for me from Australia, if I want to take my two boys over there, go to LA to watch a game, thinking that certain players are going to be playing, and you get there and they're not, then what does that do to the fan base? You'd have a lot of people travel worldwide to go watch the NBA, and if a lot of people are doing it all the time, and their favorite players aren't playing, or they aren't there, they didn't make the team bus because they're injured, I don't know. What does that look like? I think my kids would be disappointed because I'd be disappointed because I'm spending tens of thousands of dollars to get there. And then to take my kids in a situation where they don't get to see the players they want to see, that would be annoying. And I think that would definitely put a dent. I mean, I'm an NBA lifer, but it's the next generation they got to worry about. Would my kids, who would be 10 and 11, would they be interested enough to go fly all that way, not see their players they want to see? And then would that make them NBA fans for life? I don't know. And that's the concern. But let me know what you think in the comments. Interested to hear your take on what this looks like for the future with NBA players making potentially $100 million per season.